What's the first macronutrient that you guys all want to know about? Frickin' protein, right? Dr. Vuong, how much protein should I eat, right? My doctor says 70 grams, but this other program says 90 grams. There are programs out there that tell patients to eat 120 grams. I'm going to debunk all these myths for you. All right, and then we're going to talk about carbs. Dr. Vuong, what about carbs? What is paleo good for you? Is ketogenic diet good for you? What about carbs? And the other macronutrient is fats. Dr. Vuong, don't fats make you fat? What are good fats? What are bad fats? We want to cover this really quickly. So this in itself could be its own series, quite honestly. I might do that for you later. But I want to cover this really fast, and I want to move on to a couple of smaller ones, and then finish with a big science myth for you guys, okay? So I'm going to tell you, here's the problem. All of these myths, okay? The guidelines and USDA guidelines are based on how many calories a day? Anyone know? Based on 2,000 calories per day. Now let me ask you a question. If you've had weight loss surgery, are you eating 2,000 calories a day? You better not be. So if you're not eating 2,000 calories a day, then a lot of these guidelines don't apply to you. And then what happened was, when we started back in the 50s doing the gastric bypass, we really chased down this rabbit hole about malabsorption, about how bypass patients have malabsorption, they can't absorb nutrients. And then they started testing these patients for their different levels, and they found that they were deficient in protein, that they're blah, 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 blah. And so they started, quite honestly, a lot of surgeons just started making up recommendations off the fly, and then they taught it to their nurses, and then they taught it to their dietitians, and a lot of this has passed down through lore. So none of it's science-based. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. And then number two thing I'm going to tell you is, even though they're trying to study it now, here's the problem. So they're trying to study it now to give you recommendations, and they're saying, oh, we looked at bypass patients, or we looked at sleeve patients 2 years post-op, and they have deficiencies in calcium and vitamin B and da-da-da. My problem with that is, what if they're deficient not because of the surgery, but because we're telling them the wrong things to eat? Amen? We're telling them to eat things like protein shakes twice a day. We're telling them to eat things like peanut butter is a good snack. Beef jerky is a good snack. And that shit's not good for you. So if you eat nothing but beef jerky all day long, are you going to be deficient in some vitamins? Absolutely you will. Does that make sense what I'm telling you? So what I see, what's happening in the weight loss community, is that we've just we keep going around the same freaking circle and nothing gets done, okay? So, but some of y'all, just don't believe that Dr. Vuong know what the F he's talking about. So want me to give you some numbers. I'll give you a few numbers, okay? Based on the USDA guidelines, okay? And it's always a range now. Your protein should be about 30 to 40% of your calories. Your carbs need to be about 50 to 60% of your calories. And your fats need to be anywhere from 20 to 30% of your calories. That's the USDA guidelines, approximately, right? And first thing you'll notice is that there's a range. Why is there a range? I'll tell you that in a little bit. But what does this mean? So here's a problem. They put out guidelines like this, but what the fuck does that, what the F does that mean? Like how much are you supposed to eat? So you're wondering this, right? So let's break this down. So how many calories per gram? Protein has how many calories per gram? Anyone know? How many calories per gram? So if you eat this, pretend this is 1 gram of protein. It's not, but pretend like it's 1 gram of protein, and you eat it. How many calories did you just consume? Answer is 4. Protein has 4 calories per gram. Now, next question. How many calories per gram do carbs have? Anybody know? That's right. Also 4 calories per gram. See, now you're sitting here thinking, but we're telling people to eat a lot of protein and not eat carbs, but they're both the same number of calories. Okay, so What does that mean, Dr. Vuong? That means I need you to stop counting calories. This is why calories doesn't work. This is why calorie counting doesn't work. Okay? Because the carbs and protein have the same amount of calories. Now, if you have fat, imagine this is a big chunk of fat, and you eat it, how many calories per gram did you eat with fats? Anyone know? Answer is 9 calories per gram. Okay? 9 calories per gram. Right? More than double. So now people look at this and say, if you're eating a gram of fat, it is twice as many calories as carbs. Therefore, fats probably make you fat. But the answer is this. Fats, we're not sure if they make you fat or not. Most likely the answer is no. Answer is no. And why is the answer no? Because there's not one bad villain. Okay, so that's the one thing I want to write down. No one villain. So you can't point at protein and say it's bad for you. Too much protein is bad. You can't point at carbs and say too much carbs is bad. You can't point at fats and say too much fats is bad. Okay? Because there's no one villain. There's no one thing that made you obese. Amen? There's no one thing that made you obese. And in fact, if you're watching this, you know for a fact that your stress level added to your obesity. If you've ever said I'm a stress eater, you have to agree with me. Your emotions, which is another word for stress, caused you to be obese or contributed. Right? Your lack of sleep. Yes? Yes, of course sodas added to your obesity. Of course junk food added to your obesity. But there's no one villain. So, because sorry about that. Because there's no one villain, there is also no one superhero. Does that make sense what I'm telling you? There's no one superhero. Like, you're not going to just focus on protein and be healthy. I'm tired of hearing y'all contradict me on this. Okay? There's no one superhero, there's no one supervillain. Okay? Let's go back to our math real quick. So, based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet, let's say 30%, anyone do the math for me real quick? That's gone 30 to 40% will be about 500 calories. Should be protein. Divide that by 4. Divide that by 4. 1, 4, 1, 2, 8, 20. On the high end, it's 125 grams of protein. Now that's a normal person based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet, right? Now you're probably, if you've had weight loss surgery, you're probably only consuming about 1,000 calories a day. Is that right? So now you probably need this to be cut in half. So you really only need about 60 grams per day. And I would say that's for an average person even, okay? But I don't tell people how much protein to eat. Why not? And here's the point. Why should I tell everybody, hey, listen, you need to eat 60 to 70 grams of protein when I have a 25-year-old, 6'2", muscular, athletic boy versus a 5'2", 60-year-old grandmother who walks with a cane or a walker? They should not be eating the same amount of protein. Does that make sense? Okay, and I'll get to why this is important here in a little bit. Same thing for your carbs, all right? Low carbs is under 150 grams per day, right? Ketogenic, you want to try to shoot for under 100 grams per day. All right, but you can also be too low in carbs. What I find is that there's a sweet point. So if you go way too low in carbs, your weight loss will stop. Because remember, there's no one villain and there's no one superhero. So if you want to be ketogenic, I would say, you know, a good range for your carbs would be around 80 to 120. And the reason why I tell you don't be extreme is because it's got to be long term. It's not important that you be perfect. not perfection. All of you guys who are so obsessed about like counting all your protein, telling me my smoothies have too much carbs in them, you guys are looking at me for weight loss advice. I'm not the obese person. I say that with a lot of love, but you know it's true. The thing that's more important than perfection is that you just keep doing it long enough. If you do it for long enough, you're going to get the results. See, I'm skinny not because I went on some diet. I'm skinny not because I counted my carbs. I'm skinny because for 45 years of my life, I listened to my body and I gave it what it needed. 45 years, not 4 or 5 months. Got it, guys? Okay, so, and now fats. Now fats is also not the enemy. Okay, you need some healthy fats. Your brain works on fats. Your kids who are growing up need fats. Okay, so there are healthy fats. Now, I don't want to get into the healthy fats. Like you guys know, avocados are healthier, olive oil is healthier fats, nuts have healthier fats. And you know the bad fats. Bad fats, give me some bad fats. A donut. It's also, see, people think donuts are carbs. They are carbs, but they're also fats. They're 50% fat. Bad fat, right? So, you need a certain amount of fat. Now, let's get into a couple little diets. So the Paleo Diet, for example, wants you to eat more protein and more fats. 50, 60% of fats. Well, that's fine, but you're going to have a heart attack. People who push protein say, hey, eat this steak, eat this bacon. You're going to get colon cancer. You might lose weight, but you're going to have higher risk of colon cancer, man. Pick your poison, right? Carbs. Carbs are in everything. Now, the problem with saying carbs is this. We just think like carbs are everywhere. No, they're listen, when you guys are trying to say carbs, what you mean is junk food. You're talking about simple carbs, amen? You're talking about cookies. You're talking about chips. So simple carbs. You are not referring to the carbs in fresh fruits and vegetables. You're not talking about the carbs in, apples. They're not the same carbs. Trust me, your body does not process an apple the same way that it processes chips. Amen? Okay? So for people who are obsessed about trying to stay like, Dr. Vuong, your green smoothies have way too many carbs, and I'll be, whatever, right? Do it your way. I don't really care, right? I'm awesome. The people who watch me, my tribe, you're awesome. Okay, so what people say is you need everyone knows this, you need a balanced diet. Problem is, people say, but Dr. Vuong, I've had weight loss surgery. Don't I need to? No, you're still human, hopefully. So balanced diet, yes, for weight loss surgery. And this is the big departure. This is where I depart from most of your programs. You don't need to be drinking protein shakes. Okay, you don't need to, not every single day. Okay, here's the thing. 1, 2, 3. We talked about 3 macronutrients. 3 macronutrients. And so what happens is you guys read the label on like a protein shake. And it says, oh, this protein shake has 30 grams of protein. And it's only got 10 carbs. And it has 0 fats. And it's got so-and-so sodium and so-and-so calcium and so-and-so blah, blah, blah. Let's say you have six nutrients. Or I'll give you 10 nutrients. So let's say you drink a protein shake. I need room. So protein shake. All right, right here. Protein shake. Or anything, like any healthy diet thing that you want. All right. Let's say you have 10 nutrients on the label. Question for you. How many nutrients are in an apple? you know? So you have 10 nutrients in this protein shake. An apple has thousands of nutrients. Boom! Y'all get what I'm trying to tell you? Apple has thousands of nutrients. In fact, we are still discovering new compounds inside of apples. The shit that got us kicked out of Garden of Eden. Apple of knowledge. We're still discovering stuff inside of an apple. So to be obnoxious, here's the thing, is to be rigid and conceited about your protein shake is better than my green smoothie. Like, I don't care. You want a protein shake? I don't care. You're just not going to lose weight. Because I'm here to tell you, you need to put an apple inside your smoothie maker. See, that's why green smoothies are powerful, because you get leafy greens, you get bananas, berries, apples, and you got thousands of nutrients. Does that make sense? Not 10 things on the back of a nutrition label. Okay? So that's why I really hate the argument about macronutrients, and I don't answer questions about how much should I be eating in terms of protein, carbs, and fats a day. Because the answer is, it depends. It depends on what surgery you've had, how big you are, how young you are, how muscular you are, how athletic you are, okay? So here's the next thing. And the other thing is this is a big one. Let me see, I gotta make sure there's room on, okay. How much you should eat, let me write this in blue. How much you should eat, like what percentage you should eat, what you should eat, changes based on your goals. Boom! Someone put a big star by this. What you should eat and the amounts you should eat changes based on your goals. Got it? Now listen, if you're just getting started, let's say you're a 5'5", 300-pound woman. Okay, she's about average. And let's say she's 40 to 45 years old. You get the ballpark if you're watching this, right? What you should eat when you're just getting started in the journey is very different. You should be following the Dr. V diet. Green smoothie for breakfast, a salad a day, a small sensible meal based on lean proteins, 10 bottles of water a day, no snacking, 0 snacking for the obese patient, okay? That's what you should do when you're getting started. Now let's say you've had weight loss surgery, and let's say you're a month post-op. You should be going through your texture scale based on what your doctor taught you to try to get you back to solid foods. Now once you're on solid foods, you should go back to the Dr. V diet, quite honestly. Now, let's say you've done really well. Let's say you're down to 5'5", 150 pounds, okay? And you decide, my head is straight, my money's straight, I can go back to the gym, because this is what Dr. Vuong teaches you. You can go back to the gym when your head is straight, your food is right, and you can afford a trainer. You can go back to the gym. So now you hire a trainer. And now you're trying to build muscle. Now the second you start trying to build muscle, you need more what? Anyone know the answer? That's right, you need more protein. But the problem is most of y'all have trouble eating beef and chicken and turkey, and you can't eat it. But what y'all don't understand is you don't need to be eating meat to get the protein. But that's what your trainer is going to tell you to do, or that's what your dietitian is going to tell you to do. But you don't need it. You can be a vegan bodybuilder. You can build your muscle mass with beans and tofu and lentils and non-animal sources of protein. But my point is this. What you eat and the amounts that you need has changed because of your goals. Your goal is now to build muscle mass. Does that make sense what I'm saying? This is kind of I know it's a little bit longer talk, but it's on macronutrients. I hope that was helpful, okay? It changes. There is no one formula, there is no one villain, there's no one superhero, and what you need will change depending on where you're on your journey. Oh, so last thing, and I'll leave with this. You're probably sitting there saying, Dr. Vuong, so what do I eat? Here's what you need to do. You need to do what works for your body at that time. Make sense? You need to do what works for your body at that time. Like, I met two guys who I really respect. this last weekend in LA. Both of them tried to be vegans. Both of them felt terrible. Both of them gained weight. They started eating steak again, and they lost all this weight. See, your weight loss has so much more to do than with it's not just like these three things, right? Like, there's ethnicity in me. My body has thousands of years of coding that allow me to eat rice. Some of y'all sniff rice and you'll gain weight, right? Some cultures can live off of bread. A lot of Eastern European countries can live off of bread. Americans, the type of breads they eat, they'll gain weight, okay? So there's a lot of background, there's history. It's more than just 3 macronutrients, okay? So I want you to understand. Sound good? Dr. Vuong here. If you like this video, I hope you will come learn from me live in person at my first ever Dr. V weekend workshop. I'm calling it Unleash the Sleeve Within. All right? So it's in Albuquerque, March 23rd through the 25th. There's a link to it below the video. I hope to see you there. Cool? Bye.